A big moment here for Iaguz, of course.
Yeah, just recently picked up our new team, Nuovo, who are oceanic focused, but actually not based in Oceania. They're kind of like just basically trying to revive a scene that they feel is like not doing so great. But I mean, our scene's actually been doing really, really well with a lot of our online tournaments, but it's really good to see a new team just pick up one of the best players. Yep. And like every time my good friend Zeph and I would cast Iaguz, which was a lot, pretty much every WCS qualifier in Oceania, and which he would often win, we would be like, why has this guy not been picked up by a team yet? Do yourself a favor, put him on your team. He is incredibly good. Speaking of good though, we got the American hope here, Huck, and this kid's been doing some work as well. He's been looking really good lately.
He's having a serious comeback this year, actually. Like, there was definitely a long period there where he was like a mere shadow of his former self, but he's had some deep finishes. He's had some solid games.
Love a deep finish.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and he's had plenty of those in his past.
It's been an interesting story for Huck, especially just because of the rise of the other North American Protosses, particularly guys like Neve and Puck,
the elephant in the room,
who have been picking up better results recently. And then you've got Iaguz, very fun guy to watch.
He's one of my favorite people in esports. Like he's dry, he's funny, he does stuff like that with the camera. He's very aware of his situation where he is, and you know, he's and a good player to boot.
His comments, if you like read his Twitter before and after games,
he's so funny.
He's one of the most honest people you'll meet, I guess, too.
Oh, no, certainly. He's someone that, like, I will say something on GSL and then check his Twitter account. I'm like, oh, wow, I really like the siege tank that the Terran made against Protoss in Heart of the Swarm. And I just check. He's like, wow, this siege tank's so bad.
He's not one to mince words.
No, certainly not.
Yeah. He had a pretty good tournament. Was it Toronto, I think, Season 2 last year? I think he got to the top 16 narrowly, not moving forward. I think it was...
Yeah, I mean...
I can't remember who he played against, but he got a pretty good finish there. It was a Zerg player for sure, but I can't remember which one.
I feel like he crushed a Zerg player's dreams. I want to say TLO.
Oh, it was TLO, I think.
Yeah, TLO.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the map.
Please, Dan, please.
Did Huck choose to play on Corehole Carnage Knockout?
I guess
That's
so.
what it would
That just shows what a different Protoss that he is. That's like crazy, man, that map.
What has he got up
When
his sleeve?
you play in a ladder, you pick up on things that you did not believe were imaginable, and you make them into reality.
Yeah.
And then Iaguz is like, oh, I'm Korean GM, I don't mind that. But then...
I don't mind a bit of that.
But then exactly. But then you're like, well, he also probably doesn't play on that map particularly often either, so I can see it. You know?
Okay, just that threw me off a little bit. I'm sorry.
Odd.
Please continue whatever you were talking about when I so rudely interrupted.
It's all good.
I guess it wasn't that important.
It's like Coral Carnage Knockout, like literally the best map ever, so.
Nathan, I know you've been very on point with your predictions so far.
Of
I
course.
completely just made that up.
I'm actually 110% right now.
Yeah, 110%.
That's because I've also correctly predicted the matches that haven't happened yet.
So eventually you're going to fall to 100%.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. It's a sad, harsh reality of the world we live in, but yeah.
We all die one day, man. I mean, that's just
you know what? I can keep that up if I start predicting the other games here or whatever. I'll just I don't know who's playing in like the CS minor here. Just start naming random teams.
I actually don't know any teams actually. Who are you thinking for this one then?
Iaguz is very, from my experience, he's very solid, but he's very vanilla in his play style. I think that Huck is the kind of player that can abuse him for playing straight up, and I expect that to happen. So I would go with a Huck for like a 3-2 or 3-1.
Okay.
I've been speaking to Iaguz. He's very confident. He actually does all right versus Huck on ladder as well. And when he's confident, and you know, I'm going to throw my Aussie viewers a bone. You're all staying up till 3:30 a.m. or something ridiculous back there. I'm going to say my boy is going to come through with a 3-2.
This is where everyone back comes like, Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Ben?
Oh God, I think that this is like it's kind of heartbreaking for me because I really like Iaguz. I like his style of play. I want to see him or Australia go far, but I do think Huck's going to take it. I think he's having kind of a revival right now. He's playing better StarCraft than we've seen from him in the last like 3 years. So I am picking Huck here, maybe a 3-2.
All right,
that is true.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. It's time to get ready for the next game here at this tournament. Put another shrimp on the barbie, get a can of Foster's. This one's going to be a good one off the main line.
Wow.
Thanks for that, Sean.
Thanks for that transition. I feel so happy that my nation's favorite things just get said to me over and over again. He just keeps asking me what's Australian for beer, and I'm like, get out of my face.
All right, well, let's find out if the Aussie can bring the hype to this tournament. It's in the top right. We have the Canadian Protoss player from Evil Genius says he is Huck.
Handsome boy, and Artos is 100% correct in all seriousness. He's had a really, really, really great year so far for 2016. Looking better than ever. This guy also has been looking better than ever. In the bottom spawn here on Dust Towers, it is Nuovo's Iaguz. A very, very solid macro player, rarely misses a beat, and pretty much him versus the world in our hometown, or in our home country. He faces a lot of Zergs and does very well versus Protoss as well. Some good Protoss coming out of Australia as well.
I've tuned into a lot of the qualifier.
Yeah, I know you do. You're a passion lord, man. Yeah. I hear that you like tune in bed. You get your iPad out. And
I'm up late. I get to listen to the soothing tones of Maynard and Zeph, and I get to watch Iaguz play King Kong 5 times. Iaguz plays King Kong in the qualifier groups, then he plays him in the RO32, then he plays him in the winners final, and then whoever loses plays.
And the third place
who's
match.
The other guy? Like Seether gets pretty deep into this too.
Probe as well is sort of the Protoss hope.
Yeah.
The wall is down. I'm just going to get in there and have a look.
Yeah, and Iaguz with the command center first. This is a very Iaguz-y type of opening, I would say, against a player like Huck, who's known for being like, someone that likes to be a little bit aggressive. He's the kind of guy that I think we could see maybe go for something like an Oracle opening or some other fast stalker pressure, unlike someone, say, like Puck, who just went straight robo every single game in the PVT that he played earlier.
Yeah. And actually, as much as I love Iaguz, I completely agree with you that you say that he is a vanilla player. He doesn't really surprise you. He doesn't pull a fast one ever. He kind of tries to be like Innovation, where, Innovation of Heart of the Swarm would just do a build that he's going to do, but just try and do it better than you expect. Like, try and hit every single beat
if I was going to contrast him to another Terran in this tournament, I would say he's quite different from someone like Euthermal.
Yes, Euthermal
goes a little more bonkers sort of play.
Got the probe there, didn't lose the SV.
That's nice.
It's a little trade, something.
Yeah. To get the probe in against the command center first, I guess he kind of has to. So how is Huck going to react to this? He's going to try to take advantage of this. Most Protoss players, I feel like, if you see something like that, you're like, well, could just go for a fast third base, but as that really Huck style, he's got enough gas to do anything tech-wise. There it is, Twilight Council, and still quite a bit of gas, so...
Yeah. Not super uncommon to see Blink on this map in PvT. Very, very common indeed. So, and it is something that Huck likes to do, so wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if that was the choice.
Yeah, nothing super unusual at all about Iaguz. It's funny because you look at his build, I'm like, all right, just do some analysis. He's building Marines. He's getting the tech lab.
He certainly is. Well spotted.
And he's probably going to get a factory when he hits 100 gas again. So
yeah, gonna get that
very
upgrade.
Straight up. Very, very straight up play from Iaguz.
So a lot different from Bunny. Bunny wants to get that really quick tech lab on the factory, get that that Cyclone out, and try and lock it down, be defensive. Iaguz is happy to be a little bit. He hasn't got that third CC yet.
Yeah. Well, I've read Iaguz's Twitter, so I know his opinion on Cyclones. I don't think we're going to see many of them this series.
He doesn't love the unit. Not just yet, anyway. There are patches on the way.
Yeah.
So there's that factory going up into the tier 2, and of course, Blink from Huck. No surprises there either.
This is pretty straight up from Huck as well. No. I think the only thing that kind of makes me a little bit curious is that he hasn't gone for a robo yet. So he's skimping on the detection side of things. He can't really harass with Prism. All he has is Blink. So does he just get Resonating Glaives and go for a massive 3-base attack after this? Or
there it is.
Maybe he does something like just adds on a couple forges, but I don't feel like playing super slow is how Huck is going to want to go with this.
Yeah, he's taking his time with it. I believe that's a forge on the way as well. And, so
the forge, robo, a couple extra gateways, and now Iaguz he's got a lot of Marines.
Yeah, this is the third Nexus kill Marine squad, where you try and get a third Nexus kill. That's the #1 goal, but it doesn't always happen.
Are there any pylons by that third base? That's really important. If he's got a good defensive setup, just one pylon. He can dance around that too, is the other thing. He doesn't have to actually engage that pylon.
Just breaking off one Marine there.
Changes his mind.
And he's allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Really just Marine straight out of Iaguz. He doesn't have he obviously has a second part to his plan. And Huck, with the extra sentries, can lock things down very easily, force field things around, saturate the third, and start to get his army up.
Yeah, when you really think about it, the way that Iaguz is setting himself up, the command center first with the very fast 3 barracks, basically just allows him to build a couple more Marines and Marauders than the average Terran player would have if they had gone for like a Reaper expand or a Mind Drop before bio. So it's pretty fast stim, pretty fast combat shield, and a whole lot more Marines and Marauders than you would typically see, which can allow you to bowl a Protoss over if they don't get some sort of early damage done. And this is a kind of tricky moment right now because Iaguz has a massive army moving out on the field as he starts his third, but that War Prism is about to finish.
It is, which means, you know, obviously his base is going to be empty. This Adept coming in and delaying that third. Nice little move there from Huck, picking that off and getting in and seeing how saturated he is and all the tech at the back. Sees the engineering bay as well. So this is a nice little Adept move here. Iaguz is moving across, like Nathaniel said, with a lot of army here. Not much left at home at all if a Prism comes a-knocking.
This is a lot of
This
stuff.
is scary for Huck to hold, though. It's a big, big army.
I like that he's moving out on the map to try and poke a few of these units because the medevac's not here yet. He wants to bait out a stim or two, then just blink back, bait out another stim, blink back. And meanwhile, the War Prism gets into position to do something, and he has Immortals coming out, which are going to be more than enough to help deal with the Marauders if he can fight next to a couple of overcharged pylons.
Iaguz coming in here, not stimming just yet, taking it easy.
It's the biggest focus is just force that out. And keep in mind, +1 attack is done now, so these Stim Marines will die in 2 hits to the Adepts as well.
Yeah, it's actually very, very awkward to engage this Gateway army when it has +1 attack and you do not. That's a big difference for the Bio-Terran.
Yeah,
and just blinks forward. Little moves here from Puck, really taking control of this game. Blinking forward and picking off units every now and then. Look at the resources lost.
Super, super, super aggressive. Moving across the map with most everything that he had. A lot of these Stalkers, he's got the Adepts behind. They do have Resonating Glaives now. I don't know if he brought the Immortals, but this is still going to be a really tricky spot to deal with if he can pick them off. And look at that, even the force field now on the main ramp, forcing him to lift everything up into the medevacs and try to go back into the main. Almost gets a full one.
Oh, that's really, really dangerous there. Iaguz does save that medevac, but he did lose a bit on the ground there. The third is not going to be taken anytime soon. He has to try and defend with what he has here. Pinned back onto 2 bases while Huck's getting on 3. Yeah, it's a very, very sick contain. Immortal as well.
Oh, hallucinating for high ground vision.
Pretty sick plays here. Huck is a creative boy, and he gets the job done.
And that War
And
Prism
a
gets
big Adept warp in the back here.
Ooh, 5 SCVs dead already. He throws the shades towards the main base, and he's going to start this little dancing process now with all of these Adepts, and that's just going to force Iaguz both directions.
Everything that comes out of production needs to come back to deal with the Adepts, but in the meantime, just pokes at the front with the superior army of Huck, doing a lot of damage to the infrastructure of Iaguz. And he's just eventually going to crack this nut, I feel. He's just got too much.
Those Adept Orphans are just so much difficulty for him to break. And he actually held the front because the Stalkers blinked into the Liberator, but there was also the Widowmine there. So he's lost a lot of his frontal assault point, but he needs to deal with that War Prism. And these Adepts just back and forth. 27 SCVs brutalized.
Oh, yeah. And he is more than double the worker count of Iaguz right now. 64 probes to 31 SCVs. A gross point. The only thing Iaguz has got for him is he's got a superior army supply. But, I mean, the upgrades are all in favor of Huck here, and he can trade very efficiently.
I love how Huck is saying to himself, he's like, I've pretty much got this one in the bag unless he does something really weird with Liberators. So let's just get 2 Stargates.
Yeah.
Let's just set ourselves up.
Smart.
And even if a Liberator with range were to pop out at about around his base now, he would be able to just quickly, boom, 2 Phoenix, knock it down, get back to work.
That's right. Iaguz is trying to think about his next step, and Huck's thinking about step 4 and 5.
His medevacs have no energy either, Maynard.
Yeah, he's had to stim quite a bit to dart back and forth to deal with the back natural and the main with this constant harassment of from the Canadian Protoss series. Really, really got the reins here in this game, number 1.
Yeah, so there we have the counter drop coming in.
He does love Widowmine drops, but I mean, he's going to need the sickest connections of all time.
He needs to drop a mine, have Huck misclick the whole probe line into like 1 patch, and then just blow them all up.
He needs to kill like 50-ish probes here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good connection.
Not quite 50 yet.
Not quite 50.
No.
7 is definitely not 50, and that kind of sucks there.
Yeah, the citizen's arrest on that Widowmine.
Right.
So Fleet Beacon is on the way, which means Tempest. Like Huck is, to me, this feels like Huck is basically, he just had so much success with shutting down Iaguz's early attack that he's just like, okay, let me just run through the rest of my build order pretty much here, do it a bit faster than I normally would. Could have taken a 4th base behind this, but, you know, not a huge problem.
Iaguz dropped a bunch of units onto the ground here to going for a sandwich, and the Liberators are alive, doing a lot of damage from the sky, and it's looking like Iaguz actually will clean this up.
He did a tremendous amount of damage to this army, actually taking the supply lead. That counter flank was so nice, and the force field kept some of the bio from coming down that ramp, but he ate a ton of Liberator shots.
He did indeed, and one of them still survived. There is still harassment going down with Huck, so Iaguz desperately needs to take a third and try and get his econ into a decent shape, as hard as that may be, while dealing with more adept harassment from Huck.
The question's almost like, what econ, Maynard? He's at 27 SCVs versus 59 probes.
Do you even take it? You don't even take a third at this point. You just try and make what you can and try and hit him in a soft spot.
He has a third orbital, so he drops the mules, but
to catch up with SCVs at this point, it's a tough ask.
It will be a nightmare, but I mean, that's kind of how Iaguz rolls. He is going to keep building SCVs. That's in true Iaguz fashion. He doesn't want to try and... I mean, if this was Heart of the Swarm, where you were like still trying to hit that weird anti-Colossus timing, you just pull all your SCVs and go ham.
Yeah, pull the boys. I remember those days.
But pulling the boys doesn't really work in a game where adepts exist. So he's just like, all right, well, maybe I can shut down the fourth. I think Iaguz would actually be really happy to see that the fourth base has only just started, because that means if he cancels it, the amount of money that they both have access to is still pretty similar, because he can mule his third hard, but Huck's main and natural should still be low.
He'd be unhappy to see these Tempests come out with his Marauder count, though. There's not too many Marines in this bowl of bio. Can't actually engage them.
It's like you already have Tempests out. It's like, this is insane. Because at this point, you want to be already making your way towards Liberator range. But
that's right.
It's like that's not really an easy thing to do when your opponent already has
these Liberators are going to be tough to defend as well once the Tempests come around.
Yep, and think about it. Also, he wants to mule hard, right? So scanning to kill that Observer, that's going to be tough, and that allows the Tempest to do even more damage.
He can kill this Warp Prism, be one less thing he has to worry about, but that is not the last thing he needs to do to come back in this game.
No,
Prism up there in the high ground. Does get an Observer, actually does scan to kill it.
It's quite tough. I guess he caught a cheeky glimpse of this Liberator, almost moving towards it.
Almost, and going for a drop at the same time. This does thin out his defensive force, though. That's a 3 full medevacs worth of units.
And I love this. Just continued Tempest production will deal with so many of the things that Iaguz can throw his way. Even that Photon Cannon helping. He's going to move down. The army splits.
Yeah, the army does split, and he hits him from the top again, and the splits worked out well for him last time. Will it work well again? The Marauders are destroying the Marauders. The Immortals destroying the Marauders on the low ground here.
5 Immortals.
It's just too much here from Huck by the looks of things. And with a reinforcement here from this Warp Prism, it's just a game of numbers at this point, Nathanius. There is too much Huck, and Iaguz has to evacuate the third.
He's dancing the Immortals.
Dancing the cheeky sod.
Did you know Immortals can shoot while dancing, Maynard?
They absolutely can.
There is no strategical disadvantage. GG.
GG. And Huck being a bit of a showman there and getting one against the Australian Terran.
You know,